Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video I'm going to share some information with you on a lovely little plant called watercress. Now, watercress is one of those plants that is not only delicious, but it is so nutritious. And it's one of those plants that I have used for decades. I use it in tincture form. I use it in some of my skin salves. And mostly I use it with my food because it is, like I said, packed full of nutrition and absolutely delicious. So watercress has been around and used not just nutritionally as food, but medicinally for thousands of years. In fact, there's some really cool, quirky facts I found out about watercress as I was doing some research about what to share with you on this video, because I know about the health benefits and the medicinal properties and the nutrition, but as far as some of the things that it's been used for, I found really fascinating. So in ancient Greece, the scholars and the warriors alike believed that watercress boosted your intellect and your vitality. This one is cool. Hippocrates, who is considered the father of Western medicine, he chose the site of his first hospital based on its proximity to a stream, so he could grow fresh watercress for healing his patients. Okay, that tells you how powerful. Hippocrates, who is the most, well-known quoted health, medical person, builds his first hospital close to a stream so that he can harvest fresh watercress for his patients. That should tell you something powerful right there. Roman soldiers were fed watercress before battle to increase their stamina and sharpness. In Persia, it was served to royal children to encourage strength and growth. And by the 19th century in Britain, watercress was sold in markets wrapped in newspaper and eaten as a grab-and-go meal, earning the nickname the poor man's bread. I always think it's interesting how some of the things that are the least expensive, the highest in dense nutrition, are considered poor, what the poor people eat. And I think that over time, from medieval times up through, where we are in our modern world and the access we have to almost anything, food-wise, nutrition-wise, supplement-wise, we have access to almost anything that we want at this point. I think that's swapped a little bit, where some of the poorest nutrition is served to some of the people who, some of the poorest of us. And to me, this needs to swap, because we can get dense nutrition in things that are easy to get and they're very, very inexpensive. And I believe that watercress is one of those things. So some of my favorite health benefits of watercress are these. It's a nutrient powerhouse. So vitamin K, it has a high level, over 100% of your daily requirements of vitamin K, which is good for bone strength and to help with blood clotting. So vitamin K is really important to have in your diet. Vitamin C, it's high in vitamin C. It's a strong antioxidant that supports your immunity, your skin health, and it helps your body absorb iron. It's also high in vitamin A, beta carotene, and for vision, immune support, and cellular health. It's also high in calcium and iron and folate. One of the things that's also really good for, one of my favorites, is it's good for your cardiovascular system. Okay, it improves blood flow. It might help lower your blood pressure. It supports vascular health, helps enhance your endurance and your performance. So if you're a person who plans on being active and staying active as you walk through life, no matter what life throws at you, watercress is one of those plants and herbs and lettuce things that you can add to your salads or make a complete salad that will make a big difference in the way you walk through life with energy, stamina, good health, and all the stuff. Now, watercress is one of those plants that was added to our Essiac tincture after my dad worked with Renee Casey in the late 60s. There's 4 traditional herbs in Essiac. Many people are familiar with Essiac tea, but our Essiac tincture, we add bloodroot and watercress. And for very, very, very obvious reasons. Watercress has been studied extensively for its anti-cancer properties, and especially for, I believe, lungs, breast, and colon. So watercress is something that, from the people I've talked to, many naturopaths, many even oncologists, especially if they're into the nutrition, helping their patients get well, watercress is one of those that is always added into the nutrition plan. So look at watercress as a plant that's good to add as prevention and good nutrition and just for all the things, right? In fact, the cool thing about watercress is that it tastes really good. It's a little bit similar to arugula, where it's got a little bit of a peppery taste. You can also easily grow it. You can grow it in your house, in a pot. You can very easily, too, pick it up in almost any grocery store. And the way I like to do it is I like to get it with the roots still attached, because I believe that's the freshest way to get your watercress. And I also like it when the stems are very small, because then the nutrition is a little bit more concentrated in the leaves and the stems. You can buy watercress by a bunch, and it's usually wrapped with an elastic band, especially if they've already cut it from the roots. And I like to personally stay away from the watercress that has very, very thick stems, because I feel they're also kind of tough and they're a little bit harder to eat. But the ones you want are the tender young ones. And they're so delicious and so nutritious. In fact, there's some really cool things, other quirky facts about watercress that I found that I thought you might be interested in. So watercress is currently under a NASA study as a candidate for space farming, thanks to its rapid growth, high nutrient density, and its low maintenance needs. So NASA is actually studying this as a space food because it's so densely nutritious. There's a watercress festival in Alresford, UK, complete with food, music, and even watercress themed competitions. The town also boasts a watercress eating championship where contestants speed eat bunches of the leafy green. Now, I thought this was hilarious in such a good way. And the reason why is because think about what we speed eat. How many hot dogs can we eat? How many pizzas? How many burgers? But over there in UK, when they have their watercress festival, they see who can eat the most bunches of watercress in a certain amount of time. I think that's brilliant. We need to change some things here in the US. There's also a vintage steam train line in Hampshire, and it's affectionately called the Watercress line because it once transported freshly harvested watercress, to the London markets. So it actually still has this name as the Watercress line, which I love. Now, there's a ton of great things that you can do with watercress. You can put it in sandwiches. You can blend it into soups. Watercress and potato soup is one of my favorites. You can put it in a smoothie. You can stir it into pasta dishes or pestos. You can use it as a bed for poached eggs or grilled fish. And you can even steep it into a tea for a really lovely, gentle internal cleanse. My favorite way is to either tincture it or put it into my salads. And that's just my own personal way. Now, you can easily grow watercress in a pot. It does need to have a certain type of water. In fact, here's what I found about this. Use a shallow container with rich, loamy soil. Keep the roots constantly moist. Placing the pot inside a tray of water usually works really well because you want the roots to stay moist, but you don't want them to sit in the water. Okay. You can also use a hydroponic. This is something we had in our living room when I was growing up, this huge 6 or 7 foot hydroponic thing that we used to grow things in. And watercress was one of the things my dad and my mom used to grow in this. It was around for only a couple of years. It was super messy. And with all of the kids that are in my family, there are these little foam things that were floating in the water that would actually hold the plants. And those were everywhere. So I think after a couple of years, my parents got rid of it. But watercress was one of the ones that he was growing. My parents were growing. So watercress loves cool temperatures. So it's happiest in the spring and the fall outdoors or year round on a bright kitchen windowsill. Now, here's the thing. If you're foraging for wild watercress, always be cautious. It can carry harmful parasites if growing in contaminated water. So when you're in doubt, make sure that you grow your own. So please know that any of the information I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is just meant to entertain and educate you. And it's always fun to share amazing information about different plants, how they've been nutritionally supporting us as human beings on this planet for thousands of years. And what I love here in 2025 is it feels like we're moving back to the roots of letting Mother Nature support us and love us and nurture us with all of her beautiful, beautiful plants. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I would love to know what you think about watercress. If you use it, have you never heard of it? What's your experience? And I would say add it to your salad today. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.